I've been using Shimbol TP-Series wireless video transmission systems professionally since the release of the first model in 2024, and I was always satisfied with their performance. Now that the lineup matured, it is time to provide a buyer's guide to help you choose the right model for your application. I'm Thomas Eisl, professional photographer, visual artist and imaging expert based in Vienna, Austria. In case you are new to the concept of wireless transmission systems and their use, a quick primer before I get to the buyer's guide itself. The task of a wireless transmission system is to get an audio-video HDMI output signal from device A to the HDMI input of device B. For example, from my camera over there to the set and the monitor which is right there. So general use cases include, for example, on-set monitoring, transmitting the camera's feed to a director's monitor, a focus puller's monitor or a client's monitor allows everyone on a film or commercial shoot to see the shot in real time without having to crowd around the camera. Wireless transmission systems are also essential for gimbal and Steadicam operation. Getting a video signal from a camera on a moving gimbal or Steadicam to an external monitor is of course best done with a wireless transmission system, as a wired connection would be impractical and limit movement. Wireless connections are also very useful for live events and streaming. Sending a camera's video signal to a video switcher or live streaming encoder at a concert, conference or wedding is very useful, especially when employing multi-camera setups. Then, wireless transmission systems are also ideal for remote viewing in general. Whenever you place a camera in hard-to-reach or dangerous locations, employing a wireless transmission system allows you to safely monitor the footage from a distance. Just think about placing the camera on a high-up rig, a vehicle or in an area with a live subject. Then a wireless transmission system is absolutely essential. Now that we've covered some common use cases, I'd like to emphasize that generally wireless transmission systems can be divided into two main categories. You have the high-end systems for large-scale productions like movies and TV, and then you also have systems designed for small-scale productions, such as commercials and content creation. The Shimbol TP-Series falls into that second category, while their CO group of products is aimed at the high-end market. Note that both use cases are considered professional applications, and the TP-Series is justifiably labeled as professional-grade equipment, but more on that in the next chapter. Shimbol's TP line consists of three devices: the TP Nano, the TP Mini and the TP Max. All three have some aspects in common. They all utilize HDMI Type A ports for both input and output. In terms of video signals, they are able to handle 720p at 50 or 60 Hz, as well as 1080p at 24, 25, 30, 50 or 60 Hz, both for input and output. On top of that, the TP Max and the TP Nano are able to work with 1080 interlaced at 50 or 60 Hz. Shimbol's TP series operates in the 5 GHz transmission band. All devices utilize automatic frequency hopping in order to ensure a stable connection, which works exceptionally well in practice. Overall, the 5 GHz band is well suited for wireless video transmission because it offers faster speed and higher bandwidth than, for example, the 2.4 GHz band, as well as less interference is to be expected as most household devices operate on the 2.4 GHz band. Be that as it may, compared to the 2.4 GHz band, The 5 GHz band offers shorter range and poorer penetration of solid objects, but that can be counteracted by more transmission power. More on the transmission power and range of these devices in a minute. I'd like to emphasize that all 3 devices exhibit a fanless design, which makes them ideal for recording audio in their vicinity as they do not produce any noise during operation. Now let's examine the devices in detail, starting with the TP Nano. The TP Nano boasts a lightweight polymer chassis. The receiver and transmitter unit each weigh less than 90 grams. They are also fully MagSafe compatible right out of the box. In terms of transmit power, the TP Nano offers 17 decibel milliwatts. This gives the devices a range of 150 meters. Note that whenever I mention range values throughout this video, I'm referring to the unobstructed line of sight under normal conditions. So whenever you add something between these devices, expect lower range. Now back to the TP Nano. The latency of the transmitted signal is around 60 milliseconds, which is quite fast, but can be a bit too slow for focus pulling under very difficult situations. The power consumption of the TP Nano is approximately 2 watts, which means that the built-in battery with a capacity of 2000 mAh lasts approximately 4 hours, in most cases even longer than that. I can recommend the TP Nano for use with smartphones and action cameras, but also in situations where maximum portability is key. It is not ideal for long recording sessions as it features no swappable battery. Now let's move on to the next device in Shimbol's TP series, namely the TP Mini. It boasts a durable aviation alloy chassis in gorgeous red. Note that the sticker you see on there is optional, so when you do not apply the sticker, the device is just plain red. So it's a matter of preference, right? Both the receiver and transmitter each weigh 113 grams. The transmitter features HDMI loop out, while the receiver has 2 HDMI output ports. Transmit power of the TP Mini is 17 decibel milliwatts, just like the TP Nano. Nonetheless, the Mini achieves longer range, most likely due to a bigger element hidden underneath its chassis. Transmission latency is rated at 70 milliseconds. This is a little bit slower than what the TP Nano is able to provide, but in practice I didn't notice any difference. Power consumption of the TP Mini is 2.5 watts and power supply for this device is via NP-F type batteries or via a USB-C port. This makes the device very flexible as you can just utilize a big NP-F battery and get practically infinite runtimes out of it. I recommend the TP Mini for normal production environments. It is a very reliable device and very flexible indeed, and really it is not that big, although considerably bigger than the TP Nano, of course. Now the last entry in Shimbol's TP lineup is of course the TP Max. It features the same aviation alloy chassis as the TP Mini, but in black. The receiver and transmitter are slightly heavier than the TP Mini, so 120 grams each. And just like the TP Mini, the TP Max also has a transmitter with HDMI loop out and a receiver unit with double HDMI output ports. Transmit power of the TP Max is significantly higher at 20 decibel milliwatts. This gives the TP Max a range of 300 meters. The latency is also rated at 70 milliseconds, just like the TP Mini. Again, no difference compared to the TP Nano with its 60 milliseconds in practice. Power consumption of the TP Max is slightly higher at 3 watts. As the TP Max also uses NP-F type batteries or a USB port for external power supply, you can just utilize a bigger battery and compensate for the higher power consumption of the TP Max and get similar runtimes to those of the TP Mini. I recommend the TP Max for challenging production environments, for example when other devices on the same frequency band operate in the vicinity or whenever you expect an obstructed line of sight between receiver and transmitter. All three devices are very good, so which one to pick? Well, allow me to help you out. My general recommendation is indeed the TP Mini. It is my most used one out of the bunch, as I just love its color and it has more than enough oomph to get my types of jobs done reliably. As the TP Max is very close to the TP Mini price-wise, but offers even more oomph, it is a compelling option for those whose primary intention is recording the transmitted AV signal. Last but definitely not least, if size is paramount, the TP Nano is the one to get. Or you can do it just like me and get all three, so you can always pick and choose the right device for the job at hand. Thank you very much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please support the channel by donating, using the affiliate links, or becoming a channel member. The latter allows me to answer your questions in the comment section and also grants you access to the extensive library of channel member only videos. So, which one of the TP series is your favorite and why? Let me know in the comments down below and see you next time.